Hey guys, welcome back for another video. I've got another comms system review, and this is a comms system, not just a music device for your helmet. They're Bluetooth only, certainly good enough for rider and passenger or a close-knit rider-to-rider communication. They're waterproof, they're very inexpensive, and these are on Amazon, not AliExpress, so much more conducive to everybody buying. It's from a company called FODSPORTS. It's the FX-S series. So we're gonna quickly unbox them here, go through them. There's no app or anything. Should be very simple control. Then we'll take it on the road, put it on my helmet, see how it sounds, give you my subjective and then measurements, my objective results, and I'll add it to the chart. So we've got a nice manual here just showing us basically the button functions, how to turn it on and off, what the different knobs and buttons do. How many buttons do we have? On and off. They're calling that a function button. That's just a light. All right, little translation there. And then this should be, yep. So we got 2 buttons and a rotary dial on this. Now let's check it out and see what kind of dial it is. Okay, so it is very much like the $10 unit that I just reviewed. It's like a rotary phone. So you get a little bit of movement and then it springs right back. Single click in the middle. Let's take this protector off. That looks a little better. And then a nice normal rubber button up there. This should be charging port, USB-C, and then the link down there for the mic and speakers, which is a micro USB. For some reason, they didn't use a USB-C on that. And looks like we got a standard clip mount here. Very, very thin and lightweight, even thinner feeling than the $10 unit that I just did, but the wheel feels a lot more solid. It's okay if you put your finger on the actual edge of it to rotate it. It's quite a stiff spring, twice as stiff as the last unit, and there's nothing to grip on here. This is very slippery, just smooth plastic. These look like they would be gripping your finger real well, but it's just pretty much a surface design. But no problem just rocking it either way from the back. And I'm going to assume it's going to be the same kind of controls, hold for volume, up for next or previous track, and that kind of thing. And that's it. So let's see what else is in the box. Let me verify the controls for you just here real quick before I go any further. And yes, hold for volume, rotate quickly for function. All right, accessories. Check out the speakers and the mics. I don't know if you get 1 or 2, we'll find out. So we've got our, pretty decent actually looking clip. I wasn't sure if this was gonna have the cheap metal wire type, but no, it is actually reminiscent of the old Cena types, which I like. You've got the tightening screws here and a nice big wide plastic clip, so you're not going to be damaging your helmet surface or anything like that. And nice rubber padding here on this, so that's going to be contacting the painted part of your helmet. And then yeah, just the regular flip tab here for everything to mount into. Just align it there. That is a nice secure click. There is no wiggle in that. So very nice design on the bracket. Simple, easy. Should just bend this back and comes right off. Yeah, nice clip. I have no problem with that whatsoever. And then of course the surface mount option, same job. Now let's look. This is just our charging cable, and that's nice. They give you an Allen wrench for those clip bolts onto the speakers and such. They are 40 mil standard size speakers. We got some Velcro pads, mic pad, no spacers, just extra Velcro. And let me undo this twist tie real quick. We do have a boom mic, and they are detachable. I love to see that. I don't like the ones that are built into anything. Feels pretty normal. Oh, very nice. It's actually a pretty thin mic. This is all just foam. I don't want to tear it here. It's caught on a little barb. Yeah, pretty much just like the Cena and Cardo mics. No problem there. Do we get a soft mic? Oh, yes, we do. Thank goodness. Oh, nice. And it's very, very small as well. This is all foam, not just thickness, but diameter. The actual mic is just this little tiny dot right in the middle. I can wad it all up. That's cool. So that's extremely easy to hide and work with. Nice. And that also detaches right there. Speakers. Pretty good magnets. Those are holding together just from the magnetic attraction of the drivers. Got a nice little heft to them. Very solid feeling. Very thin feeling foam. There's almost no padding, and it's so fabric-like. It feels like foam that has been degraded in the sun for a while. Just extremely thin, almost like just a felt covering instead of foam. Nothing like the microphone. But should hold up as long as you don't abuse them too much. We've got kind of a Velcro sticker on the back. It's a little flexible, and then I can feel the ring of the plastic. It's kind of odd because this ring is actually lower than this Velcro. So this is obviously going to depend on really good contact to the Velcro. You're going to want to really squish it down to get good contact, because I don't know if you can notice, but it's concave. It's a little odd there. But as long as you get a good stick and press it in there, you'll be fine. Interested to see how they sound. 90-degree micro USB connector there that goes into the bottom. Let's see, which way does it go? It is going forward. And that is the only way you can put that. So you're gonna have to route your wire to the front of your helmet and then tuck it in like that. Unfortunately, not being USB-C, you don't get a choice, and you can't do that if that's more conducive to your helmet. Bummer. Actually, let me verify that this says they're waterproof, because there's no gasket on here. Every single one of these that I've had in, unless there's a built-in gasket there, but they've had the gasket on the cable. I could have sworn the marketing said they were waterproof, but let me just verify that real quick here. All right, verifying here on the product listing, it does say IP67 waterproof, but there's nothing in the manual or on the box, which I find kind of odd. And it's really odd there's no gasket here. Let me poke this a little bit, see if that's rubber around the port or plastic. Oh, that's rubber. Okay, well, that explains it. So the gasket is built in to the unit. That's cool. Okay, now I feel better. You would think that they would prominently put that on the box though, but no. Not a peep about being waterproof. Okay, well, at least I'm not going crazy. So there you go. Let's stick it on the helmet and see how it performs. Well, let me charge up first. So these are very interesting. Let me put this windscreen up so you guys can hear me better. I can barely hear my voice. This thing is really clear and really loud, but different from every other unit that I've tested so far. I haven't been out on the highway yet, so I'm going to do that after I swing around this big loop and just see what it sounds like at high speed with the wind noise. I have a feeling that vocals are going to come through on the highway just fine, which also means nav prompts are going to be just fine. Here's what's interesting. The vocals are crystal clear. They're bright, they're shining through, they're above the levels of whatever other music is playing, which is unusual. Now it does have a little bit of distortion wideband just on crescendos of music, but it's not all the time. What it does have all the time is bass distortion. It's not bad though. It's only on the really deep notes, and there's only a couple in this test track I'm going through here. And this is what I'm using to test all the different units so I have specific references. Like just now I just heard a slight crunchiness, but it's only momentarily. It's not bad. Now I've got this at full volume right now, and I have to say the volume control on it is a little weird. Usually on a comm unit, you'll adjust the volume, whether it's a tap or a hold, And when you get to the maximum or the minimum, it'll beep to let you know it's there. This one, when you, got my turn signal on, when you're holding it to adjust the volume in its steps, it beeps after each one. And it doesn't specifically tell you when you're at maximum or minimum. So you just have to kind of get there and realize it's not getting any louder. Not a big deal or anything, just unusual for what everything else does, that's all. Just thought I'd mention it. But control-wise, totally easy to hit up, no problems, operates intuitively, no issue there. All right, so let's get on the highway, put this windscreen down, get up to some higher speed just to see what it sounds like. Now, I'm not going to call these musical, but they're better than some other units I've tested, so I have no complaints so far. Well, loud and clear at 60. Let's see how it does a little bit more. Still crystal clear. If you're using this for nav prompts or really normal music, you're not listening to heavy bass music, this is fine. I'm very impressed. I did not expect them to be this loud for this kind of price and still have overall great clarity. All right. So I'm going to get back here and throw up the measurements on these. I am calling this right now. These are going to be the absolute value leader if you want a unit for both music and comms, because this is completely usable at all speeds. Who cares about a little bit of bass distortion here and there? It's great. Super cheap too. So some really interesting testing here correlates to what I'm hearing. Any kind of vocals, music, or nav prompts, clear as a bell. And I just found out why. But one very other interesting thing, it's got some weird distortion. Now, granted, every single one except the 60S has distortion at max volume. And you've had to go 1, 2, maybe 3 steps down in volume to get a clean signal in every other device I've tested. This one is so far unique. It only has bass distortion. It's not wideband, so crescendos of music or loud vocals are still clean. Deep bass notes. And this particular test track I'm using just has one deep bass note hit to produce distortion easily. No matter the volume, it gets crunchy. It just goes momentarily. It doesn't matter if you turn this down to a whisper, it's still crunchy. So it's not an amp problem. It's not running out of juice. It's not a speaker problem. They're both doing it, and I tested the other unit, and it's exactly the same way. It's just the DSP. I don't think it can handle super low notes for whatever reason. So the distortion is baked in, and as a result, I can't get a clean reading. So that bar is going to be empty for this one on the chart. However, peak dirty volume is really loud, 103.1 dB. Here's the interesting thing. In all the other units, this graph, this is a frequency response chart. Bass was rolled off. Pretty much anything below here, that's 100. I can't measure properly, but everything up here I can measure extremely accurately. Every other unit has a normal shelf for the mid-range, and then the treble ramps up. Makes sense, because treble is what's rolled off in wind or with earplugs or anything like that. Look at the mid-range spike on this, and there are no settings, there's no app for this. This is just the way it comes out of the box. But that mid-range spike, that's right about 2K. Between 1 and 2K, that is all vocals. So that's why it is crystal clear. It's the only one so far that has a curve like that. So they're definitely going for vocal clarity over all else. 103.1 dB, yeah, I'll take that, no problem. That is nice and loud, and there's no point in going down to get any kind of clean signal because it's all the same. So that's it. Put the link down below if you're interested. Hope it helps. See you next time.